drinking alcohol, I get quite a lot of people ask me this when I go on podcasts, when I create as much content as I do, and I'm really passionate about this subject. So the reason why I stopped was quite simple. It wasn't serving me anymore. And when lockdown happened, it was the moment to pause and reflect and look back on everything that I'd done in my life in the last 5 to 10 years, especially. And I just asked myself, what's the benefit to this? Because the common question that people come back to me with is, what's wrong with a few beers? Well, it depends. And it depends because what's your goal? I flip that and I say, what's right with a few beers? And some people say it helps me relax, it helps me sleep, it helps me to socialize, it gives me more confidence. And what I've learned over the last 5 years of sobriety and having coached hundreds of people to remove alcohol as well is that almost all of those thoughts and labels just aren't true. It doesn't help you sleep, it sedates you. It doesn't help you relax. It actually heightens your anxiety after about 20, 30 minutes. It doesn't help you socialize. It just makes you louder. And I don't associate confidence to being louder. So while it may loosen you up a little bit, do you honestly want to rely on something to give you more confidence? Or would you like to develop it more naturally? That's what I would ask you. So I drank alcohol because it's the done thing. When you're 12 or 13 in the UK, I'm 37 now, so going back 25 plus years, you used to drink in parks with your friends up to the age of 14 or 15. Then you'd go to house parties. When people's parents went away, you'd go around and have a few beers. Or people's parents would let you drink alcohol at the age of 14 or 15, which when you think about it now is crazy, but that was just the thing that was done. Then you start going out to bars at about 16, either using your brother's ID or a fake ID. And again, back then, people just didn't care. And then it's just what happens when you turn 18. Well, of course, you go out and drink. It's like a rite of passage. And I actually do think there's an element of that to be true, by the way. I think you have to go through this process, not that the life is for living kind of argument, but I think when you're 18, not going through to your 20s, this was the done thing. I know now that times are changing slightly and the new generation aren't drinking as much, which I also think should be celebrated. Then you go through your 20s and life starts to get a bit more stressful, doesn't it? Because it gets a bit more real. The job now becomes a bit more serious. You might get to your late 20s and you're looking at starting a family, buying a house. All these things start to come up and it makes life a lot more stressful. But because you just keep going out to drink alcohol, you don't really know any different right now. But the motivation has somewhat changed. When you go out, it's still the same because you want to be social, you want to be confident, you want to be with your friends, etc. But a lot of people will then use it as a numbing strategy when they get home. They want to unwind, they want to zone out or tune out or quieten down their thoughts. And I wasn't necessarily in that camp because I was in hospitality. So the exposure to alcohol was rife. And having a shot now and again with a guest was just rite of passage. That's just what happened. And when you do it 5 to 10 times a night, and then you drink beers, and then after work you drink more beers and you go out and drink even more spirits, you're sinking easily 5 to 6 beers while doing quite a lot of shots as well. And this was just the norm. Now, the thing is, as it progressed into my early 30s and the bars that I was managing at the time, where drinking with your guests was almost expected, it became even more difficult because obviously, as you know, when you get older, the hangovers get a lot harder. But the surface level problem that I never dealt with was the insecurity of not being good enough and wearing a mask, needing to fit in, wanting to be accepted for something that deep down I knew I wasn't. And this avatar that I'd created, Smithy, or Big Ads, because I'm 6'4" and I weigh 17 stone, so I'm quite large, but Big Ads or Smithy, this was the name that was given to me. And I would just go with it. and he would say outrageous things. He would do stupid shit. He would look for one night stands. He would sometimes do drugs. He'd eat a lot of junk food. He'd drink an excessive amount of alcohol. He'd do things that weren't aligned with the man that he knew he was deep down. And when lockdown hit, I didn't have to wear the mask anymore because I had nobody to impress. I just had me and my thoughts. I was with my partner and her family, stayed with them through lockdown. And I thought, what do I really care about? Who am I at my core? And it's someone that is active. It's someone that likes to exercise. It's someone that likes to eat healthily. It's someone that likes to drink water. It's someone that's interested in self-development. Because I've been interested in self-development for decades. Why do people do what they do and how can they change it? I've always been fascinated by that. So I remember on the 27th of April of the year we'd just gone into lockdown, which is my birthday, and I had a beer and a glass of wine. And I remember at the time thinking, what am I drinking this for? Because I didn't enjoy it. I've never really enjoyed the taste of alcohol, in all honesty. There's certain cocktails that have been quite nice over the years, like espresso martini and Mai Tais and Aperol Spritz and things like that. But really, deep down, I didn't enjoy the taste of alcohol, especially not beer. So I decided to take a bit of a break. Not consciously, not saying I'm going to take a 60-day break or anything like that. I just stopped drinking. And I started exercising. And I was very fortunate to stay in a house that had a bit of a gym set up in it. And I'd go out walking and I'd drink water and I'd go to bed early. In probably a 4-month period, I'd lost 30 kilograms of weight, which is unbelievable. But the pictures speak for themselves when I put them online. Then it got to my partner's birthday, and I said, I'll have a drink on my partner's birthday. And this is when lockdown, the rules were slackening a little bit. So we went to the Lake District, and I had a glass of wine with her, didn't like it. The next day, I had a beer on her birthday, and I looked at it, and it looked like urine. It was flat as anything. It was horrible. And I just said to her, I don't want this. She goes, well, don't drink it then. And that was the 1st of August, 2020. And I've not drank alcohol since then. And I've no desire to drink again. Not because I was an alcoholic, not because I was scrambling for empty cans of Carlin, hoping to get the last drag. It just wasn't serving me anymore. It wasn't aligned with the man that I wanted to become. And that's a question that I encourage all of you to think about. And it's something that I ask my clients all the time, or get them to ask themselves that question. Whenever you're doing a behavior, is this aligned with the man or woman that I'm becoming? If the answer's no, don't do it, because it's the quickest way to destroy your self-esteem. And it's the quickest way to destroy your confidence levels and your own decision making. So the benefits of being alcohol-free are absolutely endless. I mean, your sleep improves, your skin quality improves, your vital organs stop taking absolute battering. You think a lot clearer, you're way more productive, you get more shit done at home, but also in work. You're more present with your family because you're not hungover and you're not highly anxious about what you did or didn't say the night before. The relationship with your partner will drastically improve. The relationship with your children, your friends, the relationship with yourself. You'll save money. If you pair it with other healthy habits, the likelihood is that you'll lose a lot of weight. You'll feel more confident now that you've lost weight and that you've been more present at home. Clothes start to fit better. People start commenting on your appearance in a good way. You look really good. You look really fresh. You look younger. So that all aside, if you're going off, why would I stop drinking alcohol for you? Even if you're only having 1 to 2 beers on a Saturday night, it's probably going to ruin your Sunday because you feel a bit groggy and you feel a bit, ugh. Well, if there's 52 Sundays a year, it's quite a lot of time to not feel at your best, no? And you're probably watching this thinking, if you're in this mindset right now, that doesn't apply to me because I only have 1 or 2 bits every week and I'm fine. And okay, that might be the case, but unless you've abstained from alcohol for longer than, say, 60 to 90 days, you simply don't know how good you can feel. And if you're happy knowing that with the trade-offs that I'll just go through life not being at my best, then fine, no problem. But is that really what you want? Or is that just something that is familiar to you? Something to consider.